Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. It's the Ask Brien radio show every Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unless it's a podcast, then you can watch it whenever you want. All right, so as we start the show each week, we always ask that question, and it's in our theme. Why is Ask Brien spelled with an E? Why isn't it spelled B-R-I-A-N? Why isn't it spelled B-R-Y-A-N or I-A-N? Why the E? And so our engineer, that begins with an E, and that's the only reason why he's here, because he begins with an E. I keep saying that it should be an AI, because, we're just going to replace him with a chatbot from ChatFuel or one of those companies. So, I don't know why we spell it with an E.
Well,
can you help out the audience?
I can absolutely help out the audience. Can I just say, you've been quite the sassy one, even before the show started. Can I just say that?
Excellent, dude. Oh,
excellent. But that's
one of the E's.
That is with the Keanu Reeves in that too. So there's a number of E's that have to do. It's almost like a theme for the Ask Brien show. He did take away my favorite one.
Theme has two E's in it too.
This is true. And that has an E too. But anyways, so he took away the engineer, which is my favorite one because you can't run the show without the engineer. That would be a la me. But he took that away. So he did not show any empathy because that's another one. Heyo, empathy. Not very empathetic.
That's because we're switching to a bot, but go ahead.
Clearly we're not. It's been a year and a half, 2 years now.
AI takes time.
I guess so.
And our people, our software developers, they're going to build me a bot to replace you.
What are you going to use that bot for? It kind of almost sounds like you're looking for a blow-up doll or something.
We're talking about artificial intelligence, something that some people don't have. And that's the second part, intelligence.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I am a little bit more blonde than I pay for, so that's good.
Well, dyes work. and by the way, I heard there's a discount on bleach at the store.
Oh, Lord. Either way, they're back on track. So there's
track. What kind of track is that?
Don't derail this.
It's a third rail track, but go ahead.
Choo-choo. But either way, we have experts is another one because everybody's an expert. That's on the Ask Brien show. Other ones we have is experience because everyone is very experienced in what they do also.
How many years experience do you have?
I have 2.5.
That's experience?
I mean, as time goes on, I'm getting more experience.
That's like being in kindergarten as an engineer.
I'll tell you what, I'm 2.5 years and I'm still here. That counts for something.
All right, kindergarten guy.
Okay. And then we have, I believe he took excellent. So yes, because everybody's excellent. Then his two favorite happens to be, well, I'll just go with one. One's enthusiasm, and the other one is
excited.
Bingo.
Oh, Lord.
Traci, I was ready for that one, though.
Yeah, you are. That cheers to the engineer for that execution.
Cheers.
Of precise.
That has two E's in it. I need to stop.
Yes, you do. Because we have some really, really good guests and a really, really good product. And we're going to be starting with them very shortly.
Unless we run them off.
Well, I don't know what you're going to do or what you're going to say, Traci, but I guess you can scare people off, so that's where you're at. And now, without any further ado,
ADIEU.
This is like Sesame Street, guys.
Yeah, it's like the count. 1, 2,
Well, and by the way, don't we have any music for that? Dun 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 dun.
Traci, prepare yourself. Here we go.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, what do you? Hold on.
Now, if we haven't run the guests off and they haven't hidden behind their couches, all right. So we're going to first start out with sales and start speaking to Simon Liu. Simon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
I'm glad you stayed. Some people would have ran away. So
it is a very interesting experience. It's my first time on radio show, so I apologize to all the audience that are on the call. So really sorry if I not able to describe myself properly.
Well, not every radio show is like this, so you have to understand that concept. So first, I want to start off. So the name of your company is
Lyrid,
spell that.
just like the star above the cloud.
Okay. And this is a cloud company. When I say cloud, we're talking
Yes.
about the storage cloud, right? Um,
Storage cloud, compute cloud, everything that bringing the business into a global platform require you to some sort of access the cloud, and we are part of that ecosystem.
and prior to starting this business and being one of the co-founders, what were you doing prior to that?
I met Handoyo, which is the CEO of the company, when we were in college. We both went through community college. We were both engineers. And he went into a deeper technical route. I went to engineer, but eventually transitioned to an MBA to go more focused on a business route. And before I do this full time, I was a regional sales manager for Fortune 500 company, and I helped manage a $1 million contract on enterprise software sales.
So that was your lead up in your background. You were in software, and then you went to this product. Now, is this product considered software or storage?
It's actually a mixture of ABB for cloud infrastructure and IBM Watson smartness. So it's a combination of making sure you get the best offer on the cloud computing and cloud storage and whatever needed in the cloud services. It's a shoppable environment that allow you to get the best deal, best performance, whatever you like.
Now, my understanding of Watson, what I know, and I don't have the technical background that you do, that was more like an AI feature that IBM created that allows artificial intelligence, natural language, NLP, and that type of stuff. Is that how you're using Watson on your cloud to manage the software, to manage the storage, or no?
I would hope that we are smarter than IBM Watson because that's the goal, right? We are drawing some example here. So let me give you one very specific use case. Today, you create a software. Just say you wanted to create a credit score calculator that is global. And when you go from U.S. to global, you need to start deploying servers, or you have to rent it from one of the big cloud provider, AWS, Google, Amazon, and they will then give you segment of their server that they have globally, and you just set up a computer there and wait for your customer to log in and access it. So companies are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars a month setting up all these services around the globe and waiting for your client to connect to it to just do a simple math, like, hey, what's my credit score? But where our IBM Watson smartness come in is we know exactly how many customers connecting from Australia, how many customers connecting from Thailand, and we use those data to tell you as a business owner, say, the most optimum location to deploy your compute brain or data center is right here in Singapore. And as your client grow, you don't have to have an IT person manually doing all this deployment. Today, the way dinosaurs do things is you have to hire a team of 10, 20, 30 engineers to just manage all these global deployments. With Lyrid, it's a completely automated software platform that allows you to go from one location to global completely automatically based on data and smartness on the AI to tell you where is the most optimum place to deploy this so that your customer, no matter where they are at, will always have the best experience when they are using your software or your product online.
So how is that different than a content delivery network that has service throughout the world?
When you say the word CDN is your level, your experience, I was so excited because CDN is for images. CDN is for video. We now have moved and created software in a CDN environment. So one of our patent pending technology is called Function Delivery Network. You see the play of the name?
Yes.
We are trying to take compute, math equation, or software, or big software, whichever you like, mirroring the CDN technology that wasn't there before.
So you've expanded CDN, basically. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or an enhanced version of that. And you created that how long ago?
Handoyo is the brainchild of this product. He's been building billion-dollar data center for almost 5-10 years. And he always asks himself, why am I constantly repeating the programming for one cloud and then do the programming for the second cloud, do the programming for the third cloud? So he planned this startup for 5 years, and he quit his job at 2019 and started coding this for 2 years.
My name is Handoyo, by the way. I'm the CEO of this Lyrid, and I think you asked me if you asked where is this idea come from, and then it was actually about what Simon said 5 years or so ago, and I was actually building different deployments for scaling an application from one cloud to another, and I was looking at it. I was like, hey, why is it so complex? I mean, this is not any different from one cloud to another, And back then, it was only probably about 50 products or so per cloud, And the complexity rises exponentially for the past 5 years, and you can actually see the amount of products they produce and the amount of marketing jargons and lingos they throw up every 3 months or so. And then I feel like it is so confusing for normal, regular people. I mean, for me, even a developer for me. And I think even for a normal, regular people, that's even more overwhelming, And we try to make it as simple as possible. Don't try to go and we create simpler interfaces between all these cloud vendors and automated all the deployments that we can that we give to our end users.
So who is your ideal end user?
Ideal end users? Well, I mean, anybody that wants to develop in cloud and they want to scale out their business globally. They are our perfect, users, because they know the value of a cloud, of a scaling, but they kind of don't see any hey, what if I just put all my basket in all my eggs in AWS or one cloud vendor, And they
just to piggyback on Handoyo's point, when you are a startup, you came up with this idea. Just say you came out with an Uber app, but you don't really know where your user is going to be. And today's solution, what is offered today with, as Handoyo pointed out, all these other cloud companies that have 500 different part numbers, once you develop in them, you're stuck with them. But what if your client end up being in a different region? The best example I like to point out is China. China have their own cloud provider, and they only have Amazon. Now imagine that you have all your solution built in Google at day one, and at day 200 or 300, you realize that, oh no, there's a lot of people using my product in China. Now you have to go back to the drawing board and start coding from scratch to make it work in one of those China cloud or work in the AWS cloud. But with Lyrid, we allow the customer focus on the development without changing their code and tell them, say, hey, look like all your customer is in Russia, look like all your customer in this location, and we automatically convert that language for you and make it work in that cloud. And as the demographic changes, again, you don't have to waste a lot of resources on your R&D or engineering, and click a button, and now it can deploy to a different region to adapt to your need automatically. The keyword is completely automated with the smartness of an IBM Watson.
So I don't have that much of a technical background, nothing like you. And so my question is, like for instance, when I have a website at a company, right? And let's say I'm using XYZ hosting company, right? Or GoDaddy. GoDaddy's a big one, right? And I want to switch from GoDaddy to WP Engine because it's a WordPress site, right? You just migrate everything over, switch my DNS, and that's it. Why can't you just have the cloud company if you're using AWS and then you want to switch over to IBM Cloud? Why can't you just switch the settings and migrate?
Yeah, surprisingly, you think it worked like that, right?
That's how I think. Yeah.
That's the thing. Surprisingly, that's why I come into this. I was like, why? It should work like that, right? I mean, why not? But if you can actually see if you just Google cloud migrations and all those things, those are very, very complex problems. Seriously, it's not like you would think that it was just. what we are achieving and what we are trying to accomplish is that kind of experience. Just move them around, and then just pack it up and move them around, and that's what we're building for.
So, do you have any competitors?
We do, and a lot of the competitors focus on a single cloud, especially the global distribution side. So there's a different type of solution that does global distribution, that does global multi-cloud, that does. So there's a little bit of aspect of the competition in every single level, I guess, of the business. But most of them focus on a single cloud. One, even if they go multi-cloud, they need to have a lot of manual intervention. Number two, and number three is that we manage a lot of like the cost optimizations as well. There's not a lot of them that does that.
Let me also chime in kind of like the highlight. I'm happy to share that one of our competitor actually designed their solution incorrectly and end up kind of like liquidating just because they didn't design their product right in the first place. Handoyo, with his 8 years of experience and his own hands-on experience building billion-dollar data center, he knew what the customer really needed. So we focused on making the product right at the first place by making it simple, making it automated. And none of our competitors, even today, have that whole auto deployment part taken care of. They are so used to hiring IT people, doing things one step at a time. They haven't really seen the value that automation is the key of scalability. Instead of hiring a team of engineers in EU, a team of engineers in China, a team of engineers in US, just to deal with the bureaucracy or the requirement of the region, as you might aware, like data storage security, compute have to be calculated in EU if you are EU client. Lyrid is the only company, again, none of our competitors doing this feature, is allow you to use user policy to derive all those, to say, hey, look like this person is coming from a EU IP address or EU model of a smartphone. Let's have that compute done in an EU data center and completely automate that deployment process.
So the next question I have is, on your patent, is it a provisional patent or is it granted, or what stage are you on there? And if you can tell me or not, you might not be able to tell me.
It is a provisional patent because, again, Handoyo is wearing two hats right now. He's doing the CEO and the CTO job. It takes quite a lot of effort to get something as simple as a function version of a CDN into words. And on top of that, Lyrid is a very technical SaaS cloud infrastructure company. So we are very confident that no one can copy us. But we are working towards the patent since we already start the first step where we already have a provisioning patent.
Well, when you say that nobody can copy it, I mean, companies like Google, companies like Apple, companies like Amazon or AWS, they can put 1,000 engineers on it, and they can look at your product and try to say, is there a way that we can automate it, right? So what's the stop?
This is where what makes us unique. It's true that today, if you are using Amazon, they do have all those features, but again, only working in the Amazon cloud. And if you go to Google, they are still working on it, and they could eventually develop it. But the key word is all these big players, they are focusing on making your life extremely difficult to go from one cloud to the other.
Absolutely.
But worse than us, it's like going into Google Flight, and you can immediately look up Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, Delta Airlines. We give you a one-stop shop to check the cheapest price, the cheapest performance, or the cheapest cybersecurity requirements, and we allow you to have choice. Imagine you can only shop in United Airlines and they sell you a $700 ticket from LAX to Las Vegas. You'll be pissed off. But with Lyrid, at day one, you have all the choice. You have the Spirit Airline all the way to Delta Airline, whichever fit your need.
We're going to take a break. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM, the Ask Brien Radio Show. Thank you.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you. If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years' experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
Step into a hot shower or slip on a warm t-shirt fresh from the dryer, and you can feel the comfort natural gas gives us every day. For over 100 years, Southern California Gas Company has provided safe, reliable natural gas service. It warms our homes, powers cleaner vehicles, and cooks our food at a fraction of the cost of other energy sources with less environmental impact, today and for decades to come. Natural gas, part of the clean energy solution. Learn more at SoCalGas.com. Search solution.
It's no wonder people love Baskin-Robbins. 31 delicious flavors of ice cream. Celebrate with your favorite ice cream served any way you want, including the special flavor of the month. Baskin-Robbins, now open on Lyons Avenue in Newhall under new Santa Clarita family ownership, is the first Southern California hybrid design store for Baskin-Robbins and the oldest location in Santa Clarita over 45 years. America's favorite neighborhood ice cream shop is just one scoop away. Baskin-Robbins, the perfect dessert for your next celebration.
Mission Valley Bank is a commercial bank in the Santa Clarita Valley that really puts the community into community banking.
At Mission Valley Bank, we strive to be a trusted advisor to our clients, and that means being an integral part of the communities we serve. We started the Give Where You Live program to help bring awareness to our nonprofit partners. We're more than just a local business bank. In fact, we're a full-service, independent commercial bank that is locally owned, community-minded, and relationship-driven. I'm Tamara Gurney, President and CEO of Mission Valley Bank, and I invite you to experience the Mission Valley Bank difference, where your success is our mission. We want to be your most valued bank.
Mission Valley Bank has been named Most Trusted Advisor Business Banker by the San Fernando Valley Business Journal 5 years in a row and received the Business Leadership Award by the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce, Valley Industry Association, and SCV Economic Development Corporation. Visit them at their Center Point branch location or at missionvalleybank.com. Member FDIC.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM with the Ask Brien radio show. We have some great guests today, and Traci's going to be asking a whole bunch of questions regarding the operations and teamwork, etc., of the company. So, Traci, you're on.
Yes, great. So, building a company like this, I mean, you guys are exceptional at what you do, but I'm sure you can't do it alone. Can we talk through the type of team that you currently have and what kind of team that you're aspiring to build?
Yeah, we are very engineering, very engineering focused, especially the first, like when we first built it, like the first 1 year or so. And we have like a very DevOps engineers, like very deep knowledge in cloud and all those cloud computing and all those things. And those are when we first built it, those are the people that I got on board, you know. And I started building pieces by pieces, and we started to build like proof of concept, started to build like a little test machine, POCs. And we show these POCs across different, like our current prospects, basically, and we got a very, very good traction from the POCs, basically, from there, and therefore within the last 6 months, or from the starting of this year, we actually just started to expand ourselves, and from our stealth mode, I guess, get out from the stealth mode and start really, really selling our product. And we just onboarded a couple of sales marketing, actually. We just onboarded our CMOs, a few of our marketings, and we are hiring, and we will be hiring very, very rapidly as well, and to make ourselves more, to build our pipeline for the marketing as well as for the sales. Yeah.
Maybe I can chime in a little bit here, Tracy, because Handoyo is employee number one of Lyrid. Maybe I can share a little bit of a story. Why did I chose to become employee number 2 of Lyrid?
I would love that. Great suggestion.
Handoyo is an exceptional CEO. He's a great listener. He's very passionate about the company. At the same time, he knows when he needs help, and he will basically raise his hand and say, at this point, I think we need to get out there and get more help. So when, again, he is the brainchild of the product, and he realized that I need someone with some experience and have deal with B2B enterprise client. Again, not saying that Handoyo do not have that experience, but he needed help. So he reached out to me, and he asked me, Simon, what do you want to do when you grow up, or as you pursue your career? And this is the first time that I've seen a leader that come to you and say, yeah, I'm the leader, I know everything, but I want to hear what you got to share. I want to know what is your dream. And he say, I can do that. I can structure your dream into Lyrid and let you wake up every morning, feel very passionate, doing exactly what you feel like doing. And Handoyo deliver his word. Every part of the step, when I'm frustrated, he will step up and make sure that I continue to feel driven every day. And he always tell me, what makes a successful company is 2 elements: great, amazing product, driven employee that they enjoy doing what they're doing every second they are on the clock.
Well, that's very important for any organization to scale to the level that you guys are headed towards, is to have an amazing leader and to build an exceptional team. So when you're looking for these team members, what characteristics are you looking for in some of your executive offices and just your team in general? What sort of traits are the things that are standing out to you for a new hire?
The one that I'm actually interested the most is actually, I actually asked this a couple of times before, and it's their curiosity. It's actually very, very, it's hard to gauge, basically. It's hard to pinpoint to one characteristic, right? But I view curiosity to be very, very important. It's their willingness to learn, and it's their willingness to actually open their self into a different kind of settings, So when you're curious about something, you're very emotionally, exposed, I guess, and that kind of, when you're exposed like that, you're kind of in a way that willing to learn a lot, basically. So that's the one that I view as the most important. I personally think that is the most important. And it's not about are you very, very technical or not. I can teach people how to do that. But the amount of if you're willing to learn or not, or if you're willing to are you curious enough to do X, Y, Z?
I think I can share 2 persona. And just to be very blunt to all the radio audience, that when I joined Handoyo, I do have, again, enterprise software sales experience, but have zero cloud knowledge. I know the big word, AWS, cloud. That's the extent that I know. And I guess that's what Handoyo saw in me, that he knew that I'm the type of curious person that will research till 2 in the morning when I find an interesting topic, that he decided to pick me to his number 2 man. And just also to give you another example, in terms of a diversity of our hire, we have veteran on our company. His name is Brian Rosa. And again, he spent most of his time in Afghanistan deployment. He spent most of his time doing things that are non-cloud related. Now that he's done with serving the country, he wanted to build his own career. And typical veteran, they are a little bit on the older age group or more experienced age group. And a lot of the company like Google or Amazon, they only want to hire the young kids, the 22 years old. But as Handoyo pointed out, he wants to hire someone that is disciplined, driven, and curious. And we take on this engineer, even though he's a little bit older, but we train him from ground zero because we felt like those are the right type of people. Veterans need a lot more, and we want to pay back, and we want to make sure that, go ahead, Handoyo.
No, I feel like the age is not a factor, basically. It's not, as long as you have that kind of characteristic, driven, curious, and all those things, like age, sexes, and all those things, those are not important, basically. And I can teach a lot of, like, if they can actually learn and like a sponge, it's very, very, it's very insignificant, all those stuff.
And on a different spectrum, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, and on a different spectrum, we have fresh college graduate with a bachelor degree, with a marketing bachelor degree, with zero experience. We take them in as an intern. We expose them to different, even marketing have like 10 different verticals that they can go into. And we make sure that they continue with the two disciplines, waking up, liking what they're doing, passionate what they're doing. So we hire master student, we hire bachelor student, we hire anyone that, as long as they're willing to learn and they like what they're doing, is the goal.
Well, and I just want to compliment you because the leadership of an organization is critical when you walk the walk and talk the talk. And when employees can see by example, they may not have experience in the field necessarily, but if they can emulate a really good leader and learn from a really good leader, then you have a very successful long-term relationship with your employees. And I think that is really evident that the two of you are working together in that way, and you're setting a good example for the new hires that will be coming your way. So you mentioned your marketing. Let's talk a little bit about what is your marketing strategy to grow the organization, and what are some of the things you're doing now, and what are some of the things that you are aspiring to do in the future?
Doya, you want me to take this?
Yeah, you can. I mean, in a short, the past like 3 months before we hire these marketing folks that we have right now, we're pretty much none. I mean, as much as like, it's not zero though, but we did actually have a couple of like we built our website, we built our marketing messaging, some here and there. We tried to test out like Facebook ads, we tried to test out Google ads, but we didn't do anything targeted, And Simon can probably come up like with something that we're going to do in the future.
We try, again, like my background is in sales, so marketing is something that we know a little bit, but we don't know too much. So we try everything, just like every startup. I felt like it also applies to lesson in life for all the radio listener, is you try things and you try to measure your performance. So we, at the beginning, tried out Google AdWords, and apparently, as we learn now, 3 months later, we picked the wrong word to advertise. We went into LinkedIn, and we do some LinkedIn posts, and we found like that is very effective because we can target person that are working in the cloud industry, that's working in the software industry. And as we test those verticals, we can capture about 3 meetings a week, 4 meetings a week from the whole funnel. And with that, just me and Handoyo, 2-person, we were able to aggregate a funnel of $1 million. And now that we have the secret sauce is knowing what keyword, how to advertise this vertical. What do we do next? We put fuel into the rocket. We expanded the vertical from 2 to 7 different verticals on LinkedIn. And each of them will have specific messaging to target our audience to say, hey, you as an IoT company, how you could use Lyrid. You as a software developing company, how you could use us. And now we can take this secret recipe and apply it with 5 or 6 different sales and marketing personnel and we are projecting a $73 million pipeline for us to capture in the next 1 to 2 years.
That's amazing. So one clarification question. So when you very first did the digital marketing on LinkedIn, which I think this is really great information for our listeners because there's so many questions always around SEO and keywords and where's the best platform to target. So when you initially did your campaign on LinkedIn that got you some trickle results, but not what you were necessarily looking for. Was that something that you did on your own, and then did you hire a digital marketing agency, or how did that progress?
No, we did it all on ourselves, and for the most part of it, I don't see ourselves like hiring like a very, very professional, these kind of digital marketer professionals, unless you're actually at the point where you kind of know when to scale, I think you always have to experiment a little bit, at least,
No one knows your company. Oh, go ahead.
No one knows your company the way you know your company, and you absolutely have to be willing to experiment, but coming along with willing to experiment also means that you have to have a willingness to fail. Or
exactly. Yep, exactly.
That's leads to succeeding, definitely.
Absolutely.
So scaling, that you perfectly were reading my mind on the next thing that I'd love to talk about. Off the mic during the break, we were talking about the capacity for the companies and what the market supports in terms of revenue numbers and things like that. I'd love it if you would share what's available in the space for your potential and some of your milestones and you don't have to necessarily share your specific revenue numbers, but if you would share some ranges about your milestones to get to be in that space where some of the larger competitors, if you will, are in terms of revenue growth.
Absolutely. So again, cloud is a market that has been just growing nonstop. The year-over-year growth for the cloud market is about 35%, and you can Google this data online. And just for the cloud infrastructure portion, we are looking at a $200 billion market. Why is this such a huge market? It's because most people realize that back then, 20 years ago, when you play your first computer game, you run your software on your computer, and they start realize that, hey, the computer is kind of like the bottleneck. And if I have a really awesome game, but you have a very poor not very fast computer, you as a user will have a different experience playing this software or game that I've just created. So cloud became the de facto for all these software companies to go into because I can control how fast a server at a data center is spinning. As long as you have a fast internet, you can experience the game, the software, the website, the way I intend you to utilize it. And just because of that one factor, all the businesses are now moving towards the cloud. And again, because of that, we are riding the wave to make cloud simpler and easier. And that's why the market itself is $200 billion, and just 2% of the whole market is $160 million. And how are we accomplishing this $160 million? We offer our Lyrid cloud hosting on top of this other third-party option that you can choose from. We offer a marketplace. So every app that is created on Lyrid can be resold to any users that wanted to build their own software or wanted to build their own company. And the third thing is, if you decided that cloud is not the way you want to go to, you have a bunch of your own server that you wanted to build your own internal cloud, we can sell you a Lyrid license that allow you to run your own cloud in your own office. And that is a $160 million market. So our this year revenue, I'm happy and proud to share that we have $500,000 revenue in booking. We are projecting $2.4 million next year, and we already have a pipeline of $1.5 million to capture. We just need to wait till next year when we have more resources to hire the people to convert those booking into revenue. And by 2023, that's our KPI. $10 million raise, and we'll be going for our Series A raise.
We got to take a break. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.
Youth workshops return to the Canyon Theater Guild. Join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting September 7th, for 10 weeks of teamwork and fun while creating theater magic. Our day class from 12:30 to 3:30 will create the fun, pixelated world of video games with Press Start, while our after-school class from 4 to 6 embarks on a swashbuckling adventure with space pirates. Class size is limited, so register today at 661-799-2702 or visit canyontheater.org.
MB2 Raceway, fast, high-performance kart racing at LA County's only indoor electric kart racing facility, and you're the superstar driver. Motocross legend and DEI driver Ricky Carmichael and Team Andretti Green's Brian Herta race in MB2 when they're not fighting it out for world championships, and so can you. MB2 Raceway, located between San Fernando and Santa Clarita Valleys, where the 5, the 210, and the 14 freeways meet in Sylmar. It's MB2 Raceway. Dial 1-866-986-RACE. That's 1-866-986-RACE. MB2 Raceway, where racers race.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
If you want to take advantage of today's record prices and sell your house fast without having to pay those crazy real estate commissions, listen to this. David Bartels here with Everhome Realty. Sell your home for under $4,000 and get full service, expert representation, and a 5-star experience from one of America's top 100 real estate agents. We guarantee great results. Call now, 661-403-4077, 661-403-4077, or go to everhome.io to learn more.
Hometown.
Traffic report, simple news, weather, and lots of music. They pretty much play everything.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM, the Ask Brien radio show. So one of the questions we had while we were waiting for the commercial breaks was, you said earlier that you're looking for passionate and dedicated people that really can, they're going to spend their time, they're going to get their effort going. And the question was, how do you find these people? What traits? I mean, those are great traits. Everybody, I think, in the world wants to hire passionate, dedicated people. But how do you know? How do you know?
And the answer is, I have to be blunt. I don't. It's the way it is. I think the way you can talk to them, you can, and you have to make bets on people, anyways. And it's just making just like any other things in business, any other things in like choosing your marketing, choosing your sales, how you make which channel will work for you. You have to experiment as well as you have to experiment with all this as well. And again, it's not, some people fit, and you can actually have the kind of gut feeling, I guess, and yeah, but when you know that it doesn't fit, you want to actually have to make sure that they understand what they're they're going for, and we want to have face-to-face time every time, and we want to tell them like, hey, is this something that you want to do? Really, maybe you should try something else, and those are the kind of things that I usually I meet with them every week. Every single one of them. Simon is the most probably, yes. But this is the kind of things I talk about with a lot of different people. If they're really not happy, then why you shouldn't do it,
But Lyrid is always a growing company. I always tell people that Handoyo and myself interview to say, If you end up, you thought that you like coding and you did this for 3-6 months and you didn't like it, there's sales, there's marketing, there's human resources, there's event planning. Lyrid is, we need help. So as long as we can find you something that you enjoy doing, we would like to have you continue join us on a journey of building an $8 billion company in the next 3 to 4 years.
So when people are interested in your services, they go to your website, and the question is, do you offer demos? Do you offer free trials, or how does that work?
Yes. We do offer demo, and just go to our site and contact us over at hello@lyrid.io. We can actually set you up with a demo. We can set you up with how to use the platform and how to effectively use the platform and how successfully deploy your application to the platform.
And spell that L-Y or L-I?
Lyrid, Lyrid, lyrid.io.
And then do you offer free trials?
Yes, we do. So there's a always free version where you can actually deploy like simple websites, simple web APIs, and all those things. And there's a tier of $50 that way you actually show that you can actually show us that, hey, you're really building something with us, you know. And then once you start scaling, we can talk about like how you can scale using the same code that you built for the past, like over the free and the pro. And we can scale you out on any clusters that we deployed, even on-prem, on Google, on AWS, and that's how we actually do this. That's how we usually the cycle with our customers is.
And in a lower level, the integration doesn't matter what type of website you have, HTML, PHP, WordPress, Wix, whatever.
Yep.
Anyone can work on that.
Yep. So any type of workload, any type of website workload or web services, APIs, and all those things, we can handle it. Yes, we have tons of servers. Yeah.
And do you have are you working on a reseller program? Are you going to be at that point at some point, or that's down the road?
No, we are looking for resellers. We are heavily looking for partners. If you think that you can help us sales, that's even better. You know, that's something that we are very focused on. And there's this reseller program. We are still putting up the numbers, of course. We're trying to make it as enticing as possible for you to actually sell this to partners. At the end, what I want to say to everyone in the radio is like, we want everybody to actually we don't, how do I say this? We want to actually go through channels if we want to deploy our softwares. So we don't want to own the whole thing, if that makes sense. So anybody that wants to use the platform to actually sell their products or to use the platform to sell other people's products is actually something that we're looking for.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but we got to go. Thank you very much. KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. If anyone has any questions, wants to contact Handoyo or Simon.
Handoyo, yes.
Yes. You can send them an email at lyrid.io.